Show has time, looks for Deutsch. Deutsch at the 1 into the end zone.
Comes on to serve, dug out by Bishop. This to the middle and slamming one home.
And free ball to the crossover. Eilertson will get the pass for Hawley, set up left side. Rusted down with the kill. He'll play action now, look to pass over the middle. It's intercepted by Cole Hebel. Intercepted by Hebel, and he brings it back.
Set it up, Costello left side. Big kill blocked at the net. Kept alive by the Greyhounds.
Fetting's got room, and here's Bo Fetting. Fetting's still on his feet. Fetting's gone. Bo.
Header serve goes to Kiera Johnson. A libero, but mishandles it. It's an ace.
Riddle 40, 30, he's loose, 20, 10, touchdown, Spartans.
Halsted Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
Hello, everyone. I'm Joe Lancello. Welcome again to another edition of the Coaches Show here on yourliveevent.com. We'll be talking some high school soccer with Ian Costello, the coach of the FARGO Davies boys. We'll also talk Minnesota volleyball with Stacy Dahl from Badger Greenbush Middle River. And we'll also have high school football on the agenda as well. We're going to start first with North Dakota high school football and a team that is undefeated. The Oaks Tornadoes. I had a chance to talk with their coach, Greg Dobitz.
We return to yourliveevent.com and the Coaches Show, joined now by the coach of the Oaks Tornadoes, Greg Dobitz. And Oaks going through North Dakota kind of like a tornado right now with a 4-0 start.
Yeah, we've had a good start. We really have. Really proud of the way our kids have prepared and the work they put in, and really proud of the way my coaching staff has put together a good run of games here the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Who are some of the fellows who have done it for you? I know Xavier Bosch, your quarterback, 13 touchdown passes already through 4 games.
Yeah, we've been really pleased with the way that Xavier has started the season. I think it all starts up front. Our offensive line's doing a real good job protecting Xavier. We're running the football efficiently. We're not really effective as effective as I would like to be running the football yet. But we're coming along. We were better last week, and I think we'll continue to get better at that aspect of the game. I'm really happy with the way our skill guys are playing. Our wide receivers are doing a great job. Xavier's distributing the football. The best part about it is Xavier's making good throws, but our wide receivers are getting open. They're catching the football, and then they're making plays after the catch. So Noah Sunby, Adler Paper, Joey Heim, Blayson Dolney, all those guys doing a really good job offensively for us.
I was going to say Noah's averaging over 20 yards a catch for you.
Yeah, he's had some big ones. He's had some short passes that he's turned into long plays that look good in the stat sheet, right? But it was really just a 6-yard or 7-yard throw, but he turns it into a 50-yard play. So really, when things are clicking like that, that's a good thing for you.
Talk about the guys on the offensive front who've been doing well for you.
Yeah, so up front for us, Landon Potasic, senior for us, really, really good football player, really physical, fast football player. He's kind of our tone setter up front. And then, Jaden Henkel is doing a good job. 2 of our younger kids that have really stepped up, Deegan Rorick and Eddie Garza, playing good football for us. And then Joe Schaefer, a senior on the offensive line for us. We missed him the first game of the year. He had to go to basic training this summer for the National Guard and wasn't able to play in the first game, but he's a tough, hard-nosed kid, obviously, is doing a really good job for us, and really proud of the way they've worked. We just got to clean some things up mentally with that group.
The defense for Oaks has got to be doing pretty well too. I mean, you haven't given up more than 2 touchdowns in any game this year.
Yeah, we're playing really fast, physical football. I've been talking about this for a long time now this season. I've coached, this is year 18 for me, and so I've coached a lot of football teams. We've had physical football teams in the past. We've had fast football teams in the past. This group puts both of those together in a way that I haven't seen. They run to the football really well. They've kind of bought into that, that culture of 11 guys to the football kind of makes up for mistakes. We're doing a really good job forcing teams out of what they want to do into bad situations for them. We got to keep getting better. We're not a finished product by any means, and we don't want to be there yet. We want to be playing our best football game at the end of the year, but we really like the trajectory of the way that defense is playing right now.
Region 1 always a tough place, especially with Kindred, the defending state champion, on the schedule. That's 2 weeks away.
Right. Yeah. We're focused on Linton this week. And we know that at some point in time, we're going to have to play Kindred. We're going to have to put in that week of preparation for them. But really all that matters right now is this game coming up with Linton, who's going to present some problems for us. Offensively, they do some things that we have to be prepared for. We have to play really well. Their quarterback can really play the game of football well at a high level. And offensively, we're going to be challenged by what they do defensively. They got some big physical kids down there in Linton.
We'll see what happens, and hopefully some good things for the Oaks Tornadoes in the 2022 football season. Greg Dobitz, thank you so much for your time.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, we'll have more on the Coaches Show on yourliveevent.com right after this.
As an American family agent, I look out for what matters to you, even when nothing's wrong. This is Chris Heisey. Visit me online at chrisheisey.com. These days, everyone wants to save money. I can show you how easy it is by having multiple policies. By combining your auto and homeowner's insurance, I can put some change back into your pocket. My website again is chrisheisey.com. I want to be your American family agent.
American Family Insurance.
Honesty, loyalty, integrity. At Bank North, we've remained true to these values for generations. They shape the way we do business, work with customers, and support our communities. We've been here for more than a century, helping people grow farms and businesses, finance homes, and pursue their dreams. It's values-based banking, and it's all about working together to strengthen the common threads that bind us together. Bank North, always true.
We'll continue with the subject of high school football, switching over to the Minnesota side of the state line. Dustin Platten is the coach of Norman County West Ulen Hitterdal. They're having a nice season in 9-man football, and I had a chance to talk with him about it. And as someone who hasn't had or seen a Minnesota 9-man football game in decades, had an interesting question to ask how the 9-man game has evolved as the 11-man game has evolved with the wide open offenses and such.
Back on the Coaches Show, we talk about Minnesota high school football, the 9-man variety, with Dustin Platten, the coach of Norman County East Ulen Hitterdal. You guys off to a 2-0 start. Talk about how your season's gone so far.
So far, it's gone pretty good. One thing that's happened with our team right away is the injury bug kind of got us. We got a couple of juniors that are out for most of the year, if not the entire year, with broken collarbone and a broken fibula. Both of them linebackers for us, and both of them running back. So kind of a key component, but we're hoping they heal up and get back. And we've had some other guys step up and really fill their shoes while they've been out. Like you mentioned, 2-0 start. Things have been going pretty good. We gotta stay healthy and continue to get better each day.
Who are the guys that have been standing out for you so far?
Well, we got a couple of guys who've been really standing out for us. We have Reed Clementson, who's a senior, and he plays tight end, wide receiver for us on the offensive side of the ball, and defensively he'll play D-back or safety. He's really done a great job. Zach War is another senior who's a running back for us, and a linebacker. He's been doing a great job. And then we got Cole Bentley, who plays fullback and D-tackle. He's just all over the place, and everybody's got to account for him, as well as Cole Mortensen, who's a big DN for us and offensive lineman. Those four have really been standing out, but we've got a lot of guys that are standing out in their own sense, with our quarterback Drew Jacobson, who's done a great job, and Aiden Flaten stepped up on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively, and he's done a good job for us as well. So we got a lot of guys who are stepping into their roles and doing exactly what they need to do.
One of the fun things about 9-man football, and I guess even small communities that play 11-man, is that guys do get to play on both sides of the ball. I mean, the term is football player, not football watcher.
That is correct. And, we tell our guys from a very young age, if they can play multiple positions for us on the 9-man field, they're gonna be on the field quite a bit. For example, Justin Anderson, he's a senior for us. Our first week against Stephen Argyle, he did not come off the field at all. He was on every offensive snap, every defensive snap, every special teams with punt return, and even kickoff and kick return. So he played the whole entire game. Didn't ask to come out. Didn't want to get subbed out at all. And he would have done the same thing here last week. But the early in the third quarter, we really wanted to get some of our JV guys in there. So we told him enough was enough. He was going to come out.
Okay. Now this week you've got LaPorte coming up. What do you know about them?
Well, we know that LaPorte has a new coaching staff this year. We ran into them at a team camp here at Bemidji State this past summer. They brought a few guys down. They didn't have quite enough for their full team, but they were able to bring some guys down and co-op kind of with Black Duck during the team camp over there. And then they did some of the drills and individual stuff on their own. And we know they got a good new coaching staff. We know they have some players looking at the film that we really have to account for. Depth might be a little bit of an issue for them, and we got to make sure that we're in shape and we're just keying on the right things with their players. Want to not try to do too much defensively, and then for us offensively, we would just want to keep expanding the playbook a little bit.
You're putting yourself into a good position to be one of the teams to beat when it comes playoff time. Who are some other teams that you'll be keeping an eye on that are big games on your schedule?
Well, we have a really tough section if you look from top to bottom, and some teams that are going to be right there. I believe you're going to have Black Duck, you're going to have Nevis, you're going to have Fertile Beltrami, you're going to have us. I think those are probably the top 4 teams. But like I said, overall, top to bottom, our section is pretty tough, and it'll be interesting to see how things play out.
And it makes pretty clear that you've got to just keep focused on one game at a time, this week's game.
Yes, definitely. We don't want to be looking ahead. Things will, we always talk about controlling things that we can control. And right now, the only thing that we can control is how we prep for LaPorte. So, we had a good film session last night. Our 9th grader, well, we're supposed to have a JV game here tonight, but we're going to make that a 9th and 8th grade game and against Park Christian. So we'll go out there and get those guys some reps, and we'll take the rest of our varsity and condition them, make sure that we get a good start for our prep on LaPorte on Friday.
Okay, just one more thing I want to ask. This is kind of a general thing with football. There's been big changes in the 11-man game with things opening up with the spread offense and teams running out of the shotgun, that sort of thing. Have there been similar changes in the 9-man game? I ask this because I haven't seen one in years.
For sure there has, especially if you're going to watch a North Dakota 9-man or a South Dakota 9-man team. For the simple fact, a lot of them still play on the 11-man fields. In Minnesota, Minnesota here, we take the field's 13 yards narrower. So that evens the game out a little bit, but definitely seeing a lot more spread offense, a lot more read options, and things like that, where you put a lot of pressure on D-backs and safeties. Or it used to be you're putting your best players at linebackers and stuff like that. Nowadays, I think a lot of your best players defensively are going to be those D-backs positions. So the game has changed a little bit. But if you take a look and see those teams that are very successful throughout the year, and even in playoff time where it gets pretty cold in Minnesota, they got to rely on that run game. And if they can rely on that run game and then mix in some stuff, they seem to do pretty well.
Okay. It'll be the Titans taking on LaPorte this week. Is that a home game or on the road?
It is a home game for us this year. Yep.
All right. Well, folks, I look forward to that. Dustin, thanks very much for your time, and best of luck on Friday and the rest of the season.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
And we'll have more of the Coaches Show on yourliveevent.com right after this.
Bank with the area's lending leader, Community Development Bank in Ogama. Open at 8:30 a.m. Monday through Friday. They offer more to serve you, their valued customers. See Robin for all of your financial needs. boat loans, car loans, four-wheelers, business, home improvement, and vacation home loans. They do it all. Call 218-983-3241 or log on to comdevbank.com. Community Development Bank in Ogama. Member FDIC.
North Dakota state law requires students attending school to be up to date on immunizations that protect them from life-threatening diseases such as measles, chickenpox, mumps, or pertussis. Trail District Health Unit reminds parents to get your children all the recommended vaccinations for their health and the safety of our community. Contact Trail District Health Unit if you have any vaccination questions or if you would like to schedule an appointment. Call 701-636-4434 for Trail District Health Unit.
Welcome back to the Coaches Show on YourLiveEvent.com. I'm Joe Lancello. We're going to stay over in Minnesota, move a little bit to the north, and talk volleyball. The Badger Greenbush Middle River Gators off to a very nice start. They are undefeated on the season. I had a chance to talk recently with their coach, Stacy Dahl.
Welcome back to the Coaches Show on YourLiveEvent.com. And we're going to talk some Minnesota high school volleyball now. Stacy Dahl is the coach of Badger Greenbush Middle River. The Gators, undefeated so far in the season. Stacy, tell me about how your season's been going so far.
We've been pretty well pleased with how things have started. We have a veteran squad returning this year, so lots of kids have had a lot of experience. They know the game well. Their volleyball IQ is pretty high, and so it's exciting to see them continue to grow and become the best team that they can be.
Who are some of the players that are making things happen for you this season?
Cassie Dahl is our setter. She's a senior. She kind of runs the show for us, sets a pretty fast ball. But she can do amazing things, but our hitters are probably what get all the coverage. We have some pretty powerful middles in Jade Reese and Riley Gust, again, both seniors who are pretty dominant in the front row. They get a lot of kills for us. They're really tough to stop because once they'll switch up their trends, and then we have good blocking from them too. Both of them are pretty good at reading hitters. And then we also have Kinsley Hansen on the outside, who is definitely our best defensive player. She can pick up a lot of balls and things like that. So we definitely have a lot of elements, and we're working other kids into and getting some great volleyball from our other seniors. We have Hannah Bergsniff, Keisha Husker, Hannah Westland, Kenzie Dahl has been getting some time, Sarah Westberg. So we have a lot of different ways that we can play and different people to get out on the floor.
Well, the bell sounds and you're off and running, it sounds like.
Yeah.
I noticed two Dahl names. Daughters?
Yes, they are.
Okay. So I'm sure they've grown up in the game.
Yeah. Yep. They have. It's not always easy being the coach's kid. Expectations are a lot different for them, and they get probably a lot more heat than what other kids maybe could be able to handle, but they seem to handle it pretty well, and they are both true competitors. So it's exciting to see them on the court and playing together.
Now, you're coming off a win on Monday night. I believe that was a sweep, if I remember my notes correctly. Talk a little bit about that match.
Yep. We played Grigla Goodrich last night in Grigla, and I felt like finally our team really clicked. There was a lot of trust on the floor. I felt like things have been a little wonky sort of at the beginning of the season. Like, we're winning, and that's awesome, and we're definitely going to take it however we can, but we haven't really played at all how I was used to seeing them play. And so we've kind of ironed out some kinks. And last night I felt like they were very effective. We made more defensive plays, scrappy, covering our blockers and things like that, that we just have let those balls drop. We haven't really played well from the 8 to 12 foot line. I felt like last night we were getting some of those balls up. And so our hitters were attacking. We had very balanced scoring. We had more blocks last night than what we've had of late. So it was just a complete match. It was fun to see them play and just have that confidence on the floor.
When it comes to blocking, we get hung up sometimes on the ones that finish points, that get you a side out or a point, but there are also other blocks that just might keep play alive, but it forces the team that had hit the ball on the defensive again, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we definitely want our players to set the block, and sometimes you just want to take away what a player wants to do and make them hit somewhere where they don't want to hit and things like that. So we're very conscious of, seeing the hitter, watching the ball, seeing that hitter again, and setting that block correctly. Our middles travel pin to pin. They're really good at getting there, and we're not always close, but we like to think we are. and just trying to slow that ball down for our defenders. It makes a huge difference if you can get a hand on the ball just to slow some of that pace off of it. So that's super important, pressing over and not losing a lot of points on your block too.
How do you see the competition in Northwest Minnesota this year?
Excuse me?
How do you see the competition in Northwest Minnesota this year?
Yeah, I think that, there's a lot of really good programs. There's a lot of just staples where it just seems like, those teams are always good. No matter who they graduate or what comes back, they just always seem to put together a quality team. And so, we've those powerhouses, you always have to be up on your game. And when, for us, like, we just have to expect that everyone's going to bring their best game. So you don't underlook anyone just because they maybe aren't, senior laden or, experienced. You still have to be up on your game to try to defend. When everyone's coming at you attacking as hard as they can, you have to do what you need to do right. And so it's really fun to play volleyball in Section 8A. There's lots of good competition, lots of good teams. And so it's a good challenge to make sure that you're up on your game and playing the best that you can.
What's coming up on your schedule?
We actually had moved a game this week. So we're off until next Monday. And we have Warroad and Warren Alvarado Oslo coming next week. And so, and then after that, the weekend, we go down to Burnsville to the Minnesota Showcase. And so we definitely are grinding. We'll try and fine tune some things in practice here and keep working on what we need to work on. Our big motto this year is do the work and make sure that, you put the time in and you find a way to elevate your game and change your game, because everyone wants to be successful, but no one really wants to work for it, and so just to make sure that we stay in tune with what we need to do better, because we there's a lot of things that we can do better. And then we'll compete next week and then go down to the showcase. And that's a great challenge for us. Last year, we didn't necessarily perform great at the showcase. We took 3 losses in our pool play. And that was kind of like an eye opener, like, hey, we really have to kind of change things and play a little bit better to compete with some of the best teams in the state. And so this year we hope to go down there and compete a lot better, and hopefully, finish stronger than what we did last year.
I've never actually seen the Burnsville Showcase, but I'm familiar with it as far as it being a big magnet for anybody that sees themselves as being a good team and wants to get better.
Yeah, for sure. It's the best in the state. And I think that's where you get to play, you don't always know how good everyone is, but that's where you get to play like your Mabel Cantons, and you get to see your Minneotas, Bethlehem Academy, and some of those schools that, we don't have the opportunity to play those up here. And so getting down to the cities and just kind of making an event of it, it's great competition. And that's the true measuring stick of where your team is at. I mean, you're playing against teams that are ranked in the top 10, and how do you measure up and what do you need to do better, hopefully to compete at the highest level that you can.
All right. Well, look forward to seeing how the Gators do this season. Stacy, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Yes, thank you.
Stacy Dahl, coach of the Badger Greenbush Middle River Gators, and we'll continue with the Coaches Show in just a moment.
Lee Brothers Sales, Highway 9 in Ada invites you to order your new Buick and Chevrolet vehicles from the Silverado, Trailblazers, Traverse, and Enclave. Lee Brothers is your authorized Chevrolet and Buick dealer, providing sales and a service to the area since 1975. For ordering your vehicles, talk with Mitch, Smurf, or Jay. Trust the experts who know your vehicles best and take advantage of great Chevy certified service offers today. Lee Brothers Sales, Highway 9, Ada, 218-784-2000.
This is Chris Brecken from RDK Enterprises, your local precision planting dealer. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to our growers. Your trust and fellowship is the driving force behind our dedication to your successful farming operation. We continue to invest in the education of our team to ensure your customer experience is outstanding. Thank you for the opportunity to be your planter experts. Stop by either of our locations in Hillsboro or Drayton, North Dakota, or visit planterdoc.com.
Welcome back to the Coaches Show. We're going to talk some high school soccer today with the boys in North Dakota. Fargo Davies off to a really great start this season. I had a chance to talk with their coach, Ian Costello, the other day.
Welcome back to the Coaches Show on YourLiveEvent.com. I'm joined now by Ian Costello, the coach of the Fargo Davies Eagles boys soccer team. And you guys, not only the defending champions, are off to a pretty good start, 9-0-1. And we're doing this interview before Tuesday's game with Fargo North. Tell me about your season so far.
Yeah, I mean, Boys came in with some high expectations, coming off a state championship and coming off an undefeated season. And then on top of that, a lot of returners. Lost a few starters and some key role players from last year's team, but a lot of the heart of the team was back. And we knew on paper we looked pretty good. But as you're probably aware, when you look good on paper, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be great on the field. And we've had a decent start, some ups and downs, but the ball's bounced our way so far. So far, I mean, you can't complain too much about 9 wins and a tie. So so far so good.
What have been some of the strong points of your team? Some of the stronger individuals?
We've got a lot of guys that are pretty high skill. My senior captains, Esteban Nunez, Patrick Lawrence, Dylan Pritchard, Logan Hammer have all contributed in different facets this year. Esteban Nunez last year was an all-state goalie, broke his thumb a week before season started. So he has contributed on the field this year. And then we've had other people step up and play goalie. Raj Smith, a senior, stepped up and jumped at nets. And I could really go on and on. Leon Hadanovich, a sophomore, has put in maybe I think it's up to 7 goals after last night. So there's definitely not one player that jumps off the page for us. I think there was 4 goal scorers in a 5-goal game last night. So we're dangerous across the board when it comes to our players. It's just it's the team mentality, and when we play team ball, we're tough.
The goalie is playing out in the field. Then your regular goalie then.
Yeah, he's been playing he played some center back and he played some defensive center mid, and he's got I want to say 3 goals and 4 or 5 assists. So he's contributing in a different way. But a fantastic player and a fantastic kid.
That sounds like a plus for the now 30 or so year old rule about no back passes, where goalies have to play more with their feet.
Yeah, it's been a trip. But he's really enjoyed it, and next week he should be back in net. And I know he's trying to push for to stay on the field, but he's a team player and he knows his biggest asset is him being in the net. So yeah.
Who are some of your top competitors for teams that are going to try to knock you off as defending North Dakota state champions?
Yeah, I'm obviously way more familiar with the East, just because we've seen those teams at least once now, and teams have been playing us close. They saw some of our early score lines. We were putting in some goals, and some teams tried to take that away. So you're going to play a dropped defense or a low block, it's called, and maybe try to get a counterattack and a goal and go up 1-0 on us. And some of those teams that have done that pretty well. Cheyenne had us. It was a one goal game. Shanley, we beat the state championship last year, had us to a 1-goal game. The second half of the season is going to be tough, and I've told the guys that even yesterday. The second time we see somebody, that first game doesn't really matter. They're going to get better, and we need to progress and continue to. I tell them to protect the target that's going to be on our back all season and the crest that's on our chest. And I'd say, yeah, those teams that are sitting 2, 3, 4 right now in the East are going to be competitive. And the West, I'm sure, has some top teams as well. I actually just looked at the standings last night. It looks like Bismarck's kind of on top right now. So once you get to that state tournament, anything can happen.
How good is high school soccer in North Dakota? Do you get to compare much with some of the Minnesota teams?
So yeah, my experience. I coached in Rogers. It was girls. I'd love to see. Back in my Fargo South old 2 days, we got to play Elk River. We got to play Edina. We got to see some of those bigger schools and how we competed against them. I think we would handle our own. I don't know if we'd be 9-0-1, but I would love to say with the talent I have that we would be able to compete with some of those teams. But it's a little different ball when you get to North Dakota. It's not as big a sport this side of the river, and we don't have the metropolis of Minneapolis, St. Paul, where you have that many kids, and when you have that many kids, you're probably going to have some pretty high-end talent. But all that being said, I'd like to think we would hold our own.
Okay. So let's see, checking the schedule. You mentioned West Fargo Cheyenne. You will be playing them on Thursday, this coming Thursday.
Yep.
And you played them earlier, you said?
We played them maybe a couple weeks ago. Played them in our place, and it was a 1-0 game. And over the past years, it's been about a 1-goal game most of the times. Most of the times we play them one way or the other. So it's every single game we know we're going to get the best out of whatever team is playing us, and whether it's Cheyenne or any of the teams. But we know that game's going to be a competitive one, just as Tuesday, Fargo North is going to give us their best shot, and we get to again prove, or at least hopefully prove, that we deserve to be that 1 seed.
And like you say, you've got the target on your back, and apparently the kids respond to that pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to be under pressure from the word go, just coming off being state champions. So I think them getting used to that pressure, enjoying having that pressure on them, is only going to set them up for future success when it comes to the soccer pitch, but also life.
All right. Ian Costello, thank you so much, and best of luck to the Davies Eagles as the season goes on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Ian Costello, the coach of the Fargo Davies boys soccer team, 9-0-1 as of the weekend, and they had a game on Tuesday against Fargo North, and we'll have one at West Fargo Cheyenne on Thursday. We'll continue with the Coaches Show in just a moment.
That's going to wrap things up for this edition of the Coaches Show on YourLiveEvent.com. Remember, you can watch this show, share it with your friends at any time. Just go to YourLiveEvent.com. We've also got high school volleyball and football to show you. Games that we've had in the past few weeks, those are all available on our website. And also we've got some games coming up. On Thursday, September the 15th, we'll have volleyball with Central Cass at Northern Cass. That should be a pretty good one. Warren at Climax Fisher. Drayton at Thompson. Dilworth Clinton Fenton will be at Holly. And Enderlin at Maple River. And Friday, of course, high school football, Friday the 16th. Sargent County at Central Cass, Lisbon at Oak Grove, Langdon Edmore Munich against Hillsborough Central Valley, Winmere Lidgerwood or at Maple River, Kindred at Northern Cass, Walker Hackensack Akeley against Ada Borup West in a battle of the hyphens, Fawcett at Polk County West, I was just there last week, and Thompson hosting rugby, Crookston at Holly, and Monoman Waban at Warroad. All that on YourLiveEvent.com, and more high school volleyball on Monday and Tuesday. Just, again, look for our schedule at YourLiveEvent.com right here. And be here next week for another edition of The Coaches Show. I'm Joe Lancello. Thanks to all the coaches who took part this week, and we'll talk to you next week. Take care.